Tonight on News 5 Live, 6 years after its inauguration, the Sarston FOB is under threat of erosion. $1.6 million in fuel subsidy for bus operators in the transport sector. And the BNTU celebrates 52 years of existence. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Welcome to Design Depot, all in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome,
Oran Windows.
Welcome,
Tiles from around the world.
welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coating. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot, all in one place.
Todo beliceño merece tener una conexión de internet de calidad, rápida y confiable en su hogar. Para clases en línea y trabajo desde casa, es la nueva forma de vida. Diginet es el proveedor número 1 de servicio de fibra óptica, impulsando la transición digital de Belice. Y ahora nuestro servicio de Diginet es aún más accesible con nuestro nuevo plan de entrada. Por tiempo limitado, tú y tu familia pueden disfrutar de 20 megabits por segundo por solamente $49 mensuales. No más clases perdidas ni reuniones virtuales interrumpidas. Te está costando mucho tiempo y dinero. Diginet es mejor que cualquier opción de cable o servicio inalámbrico. Visita cualquier Digistore hoy y suscríbete para la conexión más rápida y confiable de Internet para el hogar en Belice. Ven a ver lo que te has estado perdiendo. El mismo servicio de fibra de alta calidad, rápido y confiable, ahora a un precio aún más bajo. Para más información, visita www.livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
To vote for your favorite contestant, smart users will text the number of votes followed by a space and the contestant's number and send to smart code 5885. Each vote costs 50 cents. Voting ends on Sunday at midnight.
Belize, the 9th annual Hunger Awareness Ride is Sunday, July 24th. Registration starts at 5 p.m. for a small fee of $10 for adults and $5 for kids. The ride starts off at 6:30 a.m. sharp from the Belize Civic Center. Left onto the Philip Golson Highway, left into the Airport Road, left into the John Smith Road, then left into the 8 Miles roundabout for a 10 minutes break at the 8 Miles community, continuing into Central American Boulevard, then finish at the Belize Civic Center. Music provided by Silver Fox Sounds. Bring out the entire family for the 9th annual Hunger Awareness Ride on Sunday, July 24th. Sponsored by Plus TV, Channel 5, Channel 7, Creme Radio, Creme TV, Atlantic Insurance, Brothers Habet, Habet & Habet, Vibes Media and Television. Hot off the press. The Belize Tourism Board. Honorable Anthony Mahler. Belize Electricity Limited. Leslie's Imports. Crystal Water. Wave Radio and TV. The Angeles Press. Hyde Shipping Company. On Joyce. Honorable Kerry Musa and Abner Murillo. Belizean youths. Stop the senseless killing.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, July 20th. I am Sabrina Daly. It has been a little over 6 years since the Sarston FOB was inaugurated at the southernmost end of the country. Viewers would recall that at the time of the opening, there were conflict between our security forces and the Guatemalan military, which patrolled the waterway and often crossed over into Belize's side of the river. While tension has de-escalated, another problem has arisen, resulting in the withdrawal of personnel from the forward operating base. It is a reminder that climate change is real and threatens Belize's coastal front. Erosion has washed away significant portions of land surrounding the FOB, which has been deemed unfit for occupancy by military personnel assigned to the location. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
When the forward operating base at the mouth of the Sarston River was inaugurated in April 2016, it had become absolutely necessary for our security forces to maintain a full-time presence near the estuary. It was at a time when there was heightened tension between Belize and Guatemala over access to the river. Belize Defense Force and Coast Guard personnel were deployed to the location, where a wooden structure had been erected at a price tag of 100,000 Belize dollars.
One of the Coast Guard's responsibility at this location will be to deal with illegal fishing. What we saw here today will be addressed in a very short term span of time, because the Coast Guard is coming out here to do its job, to act responsibly, but to enforce all our maritime laws within our sea spaces. Joint services means it will be occupied by members of the BDF. There has to be a police officer as well, and then the Coast Guard that will take care of the maritime component. The responsibility of policing the rivers is for the BDF along with the police, and everything in the littorals is the responsibility of the Coast Guard. So we're going to be conducting joint operations here. The facility is built, as you saw, to occupy at least a dozen people, and we're looking at a staffing of 8 BDF members along with 4 Coast Guard and perhaps a single policeman to staff the facility.
Over the past 6 years, the installation used to support strategic goals and tactical objectives in the area of the Sarston River has come under threat. The danger that is being posed is not from the Guatemalan armed forces on the opposite side of the river, but by the elements. The ebb and flow of waves crashing onto the shore constantly wash away the soil upon which the FOB was built.
Due to severe erosion over the years from its inception in 2016 to date, we have deemed it unfit or unsafe for the soldiers to remain within the building, and so we have conducted what is called a tactical withdrawal to the Barranco forward operating base that the Coast Guard is currently occupying, and we're going to be operating from out of that base until some repairs can be done to the current structure in order for us to deem it fit and return to the FOB.
The location is ideal for the simple reason that the range of vision allows staff manning the base to see across the river. What the engineers did not expect was that there would have been a gradual and significant increase in the strength of waves.
The area is a strategic area because it gives us that full field of view over to the adjacent Guatemalan village. And so we were restricted in selecting an area that could give us that level of advantage. But at that time, we had no idea that erosion would have happened so quickly. The floods that used to occur in the Sarston and the level of the waves from the environmental impact assessment that was done didn't indicate that in no way, shape, or form that it would have occurred so swiftly.
Despite efforts to fill the area beneath the structure, the earth continued to wear away, taking with it vegetation surrounding the FOB.
The mangroves that were in the area, the vegetation, from our perception, we thought that those would hold together the soil. And so we didn't expect this to happen, truthfully. And so when the area was constructed, we knew that we needed some sort of ability to board our vessels. And so eventually we had put a pier there to move out from the land to the sea easily and have our vessels dock alongside that pier. That was the only addition from the start. But in 2018, we started to notice the erosion.
According to Lieutenant Colonel Jermaine Burns, a financial plan is yet to be drawn up to cover the cost of the undertaking. He told News 5 earlier today that they are looking at several options on how to address the issue.
In terms of a budget, we have a final engineer visit that's going out there either later on this week, if we can finalize, or next week. And that team is going to let us know exactly what it is that it's going to cost for what we want done. We have not finalized on how large this seawall is going to be, whether we're going to replace the building with another type of material that wouldn't be susceptible to a bit of erosion in the future, or if it is that we create an island by simply making a seawall all the way around a particular piece of land that will completely omit water from going into the area.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
The U.S. Secretary of State has released its 22nd annual Trafficking in Persons report and has upgraded Belize's status to Tier 2. It's a significant improvement that comes after 2 years of being placed lower on that index. The report highlights, quote, that the government of Belize demonstrated overall increasing efforts compared with previous reporting period, considering the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on its anti-trafficking capacity, unquote. In a release from government, the Briceño administration is pleased with the upgrade, but acknowledges that there is more to be done to combat human trafficking in Belize. News 5 spoke by phone earlier today with Minister of Human Development, Dolores Balderramos Garcia.
As you would know, and I want to make this pellucidly clear, as you would know, a country in terms of the U.S. ranking can't remain on the Tier 2 watch list for more than 2 years. And that is where we have been up to this year, 2022. So in their ranking, we would either have had to go down or go up, because they kind of give you a little bly, if I could put it that way, but not for more than 2 years. So we would either have had to go down to Tier 3, which would have been full, or we went up, the upgrade to Tier 2, which is showing that the U.S. is recognizing that there have been significant efforts. But I want to make it abundantly clear that Belize has been upgraded and that the government, we are pleased about that. No, that doesn't mean we are home and dry, because as you know, the mighty United States, they can rank us, and they do so. And I do want to say, though, that we fight human trafficking not because the U.S. is telling us that we have to do it, but it is because it's the right thing to do. And I feel gratified that we have revamped our unit in terms of the trafficking in persons. We are working very closely with immigration, labor, the ATIPS unit of the police, and of course, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And we do have to tip our hat to the DPP and her office for achieving several convictions in the last period and making sure that we are being kept on track.
The Anti-Trafficking in Persons Council, ATIPS, is chaired by the Ministry of Human Development and is the multi-sectoral body which coordinates Belize's response to human trafficking.
Because human development is sort of like the coordinator of our anti-trafficking efforts, we kind of wear the hat of having to bring everybody together. And I do want to recognize as well our partners in the NGO community, because we can't do it alone. In Belize, we still have a lot of labor trafficking, probably a bit more than the sexual exploitation trafficking, because, you know, recently there was an incident down south of some allegations and accusations of possible labor trafficking, which we're still looking into. We haven't given up on that effort. But I do want to specify and to highlight today that we have a long way to go, but we do have our focal point, and we are making significant efforts to move in the right direction. Now, I would be the first to admit that because of the COVID pandemic that's going on 2 years now, we have had some challenges because trafficking tends to go a little bit underground in serious and difficult times. But I believe that we're beginning to rebound and that we will continue to focus on what is called the 3 Ps: prosecution, protection, and prevention. So I want to say on behalf of government that certainly we're not ringing our bell in any way, but we feel good that the U.S. are recognizing that we are continuing to make the significant efforts that need to be made.
Coming up, Belize aggressively pursues climate financing. Details when we return.
I've always enjoyed the different flavors of my country. Every nook and cranny has its own unique taste.
Our history, rich with culture. We've come so far since our independence. Our flag, rivers, mountains, our people, diverse and strong.
Looking back, I am proud and honored. We must continue to preserve and conserve our culture and country for the next generation.
This is our Belize. Respect it, cherish it, love it.
As a parent, raising a family has its challenges.
How many times have I told you not to play ball in the house?
But growing up in a family has its challenges too.
I can't take this no more.
Let me share a little bit about what mine was like with you.
Uncle, where do you get your information from?
Right up on Facebook, you show me.
Guess what? Lisa got her period.
But don't get me wrong, we had fun too.
Well, like me, like 1, 2, 3.
I can't wait to share more about For We Family.
get a warm food to eat.
Belize, the 9th annual Hunger Awareness Ride is Sunday, July 24th. Registration starts at 5 a.m. for a small fee of $10 for adults and $5 for kids. The ride starts off at 6:30 a.m. sharp from the Belize Civic Center. Left onto the Philip Goldson Highway, left into the Airport Road, left into the John Smith Road, then left into the 8 Miles roundabout for a 10 minutes break at the 8 Miles community, continuing into Central American Boulevard, then finish at the Belize Civic Center. Music provided by Silver Fox Sounds. Bring out the entire family for the 9th annual Hunger Awareness Ride on Sunday, July 24th. Sponsored by Plus TV, Channel 5, Channel 7, Creme Radio, Creme TV, Atlantic Insurance, Brothers Habet, Habet and Habet, Vibes Media and Television, Hot Off the Press, the Belize Tourism Board, Honorable Anthony Mahler, Belize Electricity Limited, Leslie's Imports, Crystal Water, Wave Radio and TV, The Angeles Press, Hyde Shipping Company, Aunt Joyce, Honorable Kerry Musa, and Abner Murillo. Belizean youths, stop the senseless killing.
Let's talk energy. Did you know that saving energy can affect the overall cost of electricity? Practicing energy conservation helps BEL to use mostly low-cost options for sourcing and delivering energy to consumers. We take proactive measures to stabilize the cost of power by monitoring and purchasing the most affordable energy available at any given time. The more energy we save, the more we can meet energy demands using the lowest cost option. Belize Electricity Limited, providing safe, reliable, and sustainable energy solutions.
KTV.
Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 5885. Here are this week's contestants.
Feel the warmth of the shining sun. Feel the cool of the breeze. Hear the sound of the rolling waves.
Te quiero a ti, mi amor, aquí entre mis brazos.
If I take your call, light it on fire. Come 1, 2, 3. Baby, trust me when I say you ain't seen crazy.
Give me the bass, pump up the place. Give me the drums, bring down the place.
Soulful people, soulful town, all year round.
Yes, my friend. Yes.
They love me for my sneakers and my chocolate ice cream. Baila amiga.
People, that's my
You need to clean your heart, stop the act shy. Clean up all the coconut shells and all the old tires.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. And don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, live, only on 5.
The buzzwords since the Earth's surface temperatures began to increase 2 decades ago have been global warming, climate change, and climate resilience. But while much discussion has surrounded the topic, how prepared would Belize, particularly its private sector, be to recover if we were to experience a catastrophic natural disaster as a result of climate change? That was just the topic today at a discussion at the Best Western Belize Biltmore Plaza Hotel between the private sector and the government of Belize. News 5's Marian Ali attended the forum and filed this report.
It is estimated that 98% of Belize's private sector is made up of micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs for short. And because of our geographical location and terrestrial landscape, we are also among the top 10 countries in the world that are most vulnerable to climate change events. It is to that end that the discussion on how that large percent of our business sector would recover should we be faced with a disaster of cataclysmic proportions. Access to finance would be one of the first needs that would arise for businesses that make up MSMEs. CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, Dr. Osmond Martinez, says they would receive that assistance through what is called climate finance.
You have two categories in climate finance. You have mitigation and you have adaptation. No, it would rain when it is expected to be dry, and it rains when it is and it's dry when it is expected to be raining. So these are the things in terms of adaptation. And mitigation is how will you be able to reduce the impacts. Accessing of climate finance will mean, one, is either a grant, which is free money, and two, concessionary loans, which is between 0.01% to 0.02% interest rate.
Monies for these recovery projects would have to come from developed countries that produce high percentages of CO2 emissions that contribute to climate change. Thus far, these promises are yet to be fulfilled, and so Belize has to aggressively pursue these commitments.
The developed nations, those who are high contributors of CO2 emissions, are not making their contributions that they have pledged. I think our Honorable Prime Minister has been clear in advocating for Belize. But we also need to have a collective voice as a region. And when I speak about a region, I'm not longer saying the Caribbean region. It's Latin America and the Caribbean. Together, we have to go back now to COP27. Together, we have to actually force GCF on saying, listen, we need what is ours.
The Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, whose membership in large part fall in the category of MSMEs, requested that it be brought into the discussion. BCCI has done its share in holding capacity building discussions with its members on climate change and climate resilience, the Chamber's president, Kim Aikman, shared.
We just wrapped up a project recently that addresses climate resilient buildings, which we believe can assist our businesses to rebound after a natural disaster. So this, coming on the heels of that, is very timely. The Chamber looks forward to more opportunities to partner with the Ministry to continue the work that is underway, because work in taking climate action will be a continuous one. We hope to see more private sector investment in climate adaptation and mitigation, as well as the strengthening of industry.
CEO Martinez said that Belize is now putting in place a structure that would be able to absorb the kinds of financing for climate change. He also shared that Belize currently has two entities that are already accredited with GCF, which is Green Climate Finance. They are the Protected Areas Conservation Trust, or PACT, and the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, also known as 5Cs. There are three more in the process of getting accredited. They are the Ministry of Economic Development, the Development Finance Corporation, and the Social Investment Fund. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
As we reported earlier, Belize is now aggressively pursuing finance from the developed countries in order to be able to assist private sector businesses in the event of a climate change phenomenon. CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, Dr. Osman Martinez, suggested that this was an area where, in the past, we have been lax in actively pursuing. He said that we are just now putting in place a structure that should have been established long ago to receive the kinds of financing for climate change.
We need to develop our internal structure that will be able to absorb those type of finance. In my presentation, I highlighted how GCF has given to Belize $8.02 million through the RRB program under the IFAD program from Italy. And we didn't have the capacity to spend, and that money was sitting there from 2017. So we also, as a country, as a government, we need to be responsible and move forward in terms of implementations. Other than that, GCF will always look at us and say, but this thing, you do not have the capacity to spend $8.02 million. And this is what we need to change, and we are changing that. And I have been very clear with all my program managers in saying, listen, if you cannot deliver, you have to go. We almost lost the $40 million from IFAD, which has a $16 million comes from the GCF. And that project was to be completed in February of 2022. Now, when we look at it at February of 2022, we only had 2% implementation. And that is unacceptable. We have to be serious.
Where was the failure?
The failure was within the government. I mean, the past administration.
Martinez says that some of the finances from Green Climate Finance are already being put to use to mitigate the full impacts of climate change events. There are several rural communities that are benefiting from the funds, he told us.
GCF have looked at us and said, listen, you all are serious, no? Well, I will give you a break. And we are showing them. We're starting to mobilize that money. With that money, we are building the Nago Bank Road. We are helping the Valley of Peace farmers, the Trio farmers, San Antonio farmers, San Jose, San Carlos, and I understand that there will be other associations that will start to join that program.
Belize is seeing trends in foreign direct investments that are more encouraging now than in previous years. In the past, there were a lot of bureaucratic procedures that discouraged foreigners from investing their money in Belize. But there are steps being made to lift a lot of the proverbial red tape that accompanied that activity. Today's CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, Dr. Osman Martinez, says that even though much more is left to be done to ease the burdens on foreign investors, a lot has also been done towards that end.
Investors will not come. Investors always look at macroeconomic stability. That is one. And two, there is also a very good advantage. We need to take advantage of the peg that we have with the US dollars. You know, that's a 2-to-1, while the rest of the world right now is suffering where there is a lot of fluctuation within their currency. Ours has been stable. We don't have that problem. And so we have to promote it. And for the first time last year in November, the Office of the Prime Minister launched the Invest Belize. Last year, over $200 million came from foreign direct investments, and that's US dollars. In the middle of the pandemic still. That's something to celebrate. And the data is right there, is at the Central Bank of Belize. In Q1 of this year, quarter one, January to March, $86 million US dollars. That's the amount that the previous administration was able to mobilize in 2019, before the pandemic. We need to take advantage of the CSMEs, the CARICOM single market and economy. Okay, why? Because we can ask big companies to come to Belize and manufacture in Belize and export to the Caribbean. We have to take advantage of that market. And so that's how we will be able to reduce imports.
After the break, Paul Jex Jr. is found guilty of rape and awaits sentencing. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Get ready to tackle your yard with these lawn and garden products from Benny's. We have Scott's Turf Builder seed and fertilizer spreaders for thicker, richer lawns and gardens. Quench your plant's thirst with an assortment of Axi hoses and nozzles. Trimming hedges? That's easy when using Axi hedge shears. Imakasa rake and Vulcan heavy-duty lawn and leaf bags makes for easy cleanup. Keep away mosquitoes and other biting insects with the Burgess Insect Fogger. So get these lawn and garden products and more only at Benny's.
Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Wow. You really can't get a mannequin for this, man? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buy my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
Today, in front of the NEMO headquarters in Belmopan, the Ministry of Transport held a small ceremony to signal the rollout of its fuel subsidy program. Almost 100 bus operators stand to benefit from the 6-month program to the tune of $1.6 million. Witnessing the event were public and private sector stakeholders in the transportation industry. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
93 bus operators from across the country will be benefiting from a $1.6 million fuel subsidy program rolled out today by the Department of Transport. The approval of the subsidy program was given by Cabinet in April of this year.
We were the first ministry to take a subsidy to Cabinet because we recognize the importance of transportation across this country. It was a lengthy process. It takes days and weeks and weekends to come to a conclusion. After we come to a conclusion, I believe that every single operator should be happy that the Ministry of Transport has done their part for your own development.
This 6-month program is to offset the global surge in fuel prices and will minimize the financial impact on over 70,000 daily commuters and ensure the sustainability of the bus operators. Chief Transport Officer Deanne Vasquez says that in addition to the subsidy, concessions were made to improve the quality of public transportation in Belize.
To mitigate the fuel costs, on May 15th, for the first time ever, the government of Belize began subsidizing the bus operators. A very historic moment and clear indication of this ministry and government's commitment to improving the standards and quality of public transportation in Belize, as outlined in Plan Belize. In addition to this subsidy, a price fare adjustment was done. An extension of road service permit from 2 to 10 years was also approved by government for operators who are willing to upgrade their buses.
President of the Belize Bus Association, Thomas Shaw, says that this move averts the collapse of the transportation industry. He says it is now up to the bus operators to do their part and abide by the regulations in place.
We realize that, yes, these people really want to help us. With the bus fares, with the subsidy, it came at a time when I think the industry was about to collapse. And without that, to be honest with you, if this wasn't really put in place, honestly, God knows where the industry will be right now. So I'm asking all the operators for your support in terms of the ministry is doing their part. We need to do our part. We need to get out there and, as what is legislated in the law, let's try to abide by it. Let's charge the fares that is actually assigned by each operator.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
26-year-old Paul Jacks Jr. has been found guilty of rape following a verdict handed down by the Supreme Court. This is in respect of an incident that occurred in December 2015, where the wife of a watchman was sexually assaulted in front of her 1-year-old child. Jacks was among a group of 7 men who entered the residence of a well-known businessman in Borough and stole a cache of weapons as well as household items. The men reportedly held the watchman, his 21-year-old wife, and their 2 young children at gunpoint. The homeowner, however, was not at home at the time of the aggravated burglary. At the trial, the prosecution called on forensic DNA analysts to testify virtually from the United States, where she told the court under oath that an analysis revealed that the DNA retrieved from a towel on the scene belonged to Paul Jacks Jr. Tonight, Paul Jacks is sitting behind a prison wall where he is awaiting sentencing. That date has been set for July 28 before Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft. There was another rape conviction handed down in the Supreme Court this afternoon, also in the courtroom of Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft. 37-year-old Andre Gordon was found guilty after careful consideration of the facts in the case brought against him. Gordon, a former special constable and hotel security guard, was accused of sexually assaulting a woman on February 24, 2017. In court, he gave a sworn testimony that it was consensual sex. However, his accuser said that she fought him and tried to push him off when she woke up and found that he was on top of her. Sentencing for Andre Gordon has been deferred to September 30th. Until then, he remains locked up at the Belize Central Prison. He was represented in court by attorney Leroy Banner. The Crown represented by prosecutors Reese Catus and Robert Lord. When we return, a simulation in the event of an active shooter is held at Nazarene High School. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
When all hope is lost and the days ahead look grim, we find ourselves looking for someone to shake things up, rescue us, and point us in the right direction. What if the one we've been waiting for has been here all along? Join us for our new series, Troublemaker, as we learn about a man who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right to make this world a better place.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Ma, you really can't get a mannequin for this, ma? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buy my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Biodegradable plastics. When talking about plastic, don't you always hear people say that this plastic or that plastic is biodegradable, eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, green, or even ecological? Well, the truth is that these words and many others like them are often used to give the impression that the product is better for the environment. When shopping, the terms to look for are bio-based, compostable, or environmentally degradable plastics because they are tested against specific standards to ensure that they are broken down with minimal impacts to the environment. But what does biodegradable really mean? To put it simply, it is the breakdown of something into water, carbon dioxide, and biomass by the action of living organisms, usually bacteria or fungus. However, people call some plastics biodegradable, but they never fully break down because they still contain plastics made from petroleum or inorganic material. The plastics just break down into tinier pieces called microplastics, which then enter the food cycle through the ingestion by animals that people eat. Don't be fooled, check your labels. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Today, the Belize National Teachers Union celebrated its 52nd anniversary. The union marked the day by acknowledging and thanking those who have fought diligently over the years to preserve and ensure its motto, service, security, and success. According to a release issued by the union, it stands as the most steadfast and vocal trade union in the country and proudly proclaim its continuous efforts to ensure benefits for its members and for every teacher, as well as the wider Belizean populace. The release ends by acknowledging past and current leaders of the union who have, quote, built and continued to sustain a legacy we are very proud of, unquote. You've seen on international news where students are executed on school grounds by gun-wielding attackers. While such an incident has never happened in Belize before, one school has a series of protocols that are to be exercised in the event of a disaster, a health crisis, injury at school, and in this case, an intruder on the compound. Today at Nazarene High School in Belize City, Chief of Security Shehan Kelly, along with members of the Gang Intelligence, Investigation and Interdiction Unit of the Belize Police Department, carried out an intruder drill in which the students and faculty were instructed on how to stay safe if this is to occur. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Open up! This morning at Nazarene High School, just after the first break, an armed intruder gained access to the school compound. He was looking for a student with whom he had conflict and went banging across his classroom doors and windows, trying to get access to his target. It went on for a few minutes before police arrived and were able to apprehend the gunman before any student or faculty member was harmed. Frightening, right? But luckily, it was just a drill, part of the school's policy to keep its students and staff engaged on what to do and what not to do in case of an emergency situation like this.
The students was not aware of the drill. However, administration was aware that the drill was going to happen. They did not know what time it was going to happen. And what subsequently happened, the traumatic experience, we want the students not to be traumatized by this, but to have an essence that, you know what, the world that we're living in is not a safe world. I'm going to be real with you. And the protocol which was followed, that the first security notify administration that an intruder was on the campus, and subsequently the administration notified through a PA system that an intruder is here, and then the alarm notify all the classroom to shut the doors, secure the windows and everything.
Please follow lockdown procedures.
This is only a drill.
After securing their classrooms, the students and teachers would get on the ground until an all clear is declared. The procedure is led by the principal, Dr. Eliza Seguro, who says that security of the students is a priority.
As the administrator, once I am alerted of an intruder on the compound, my role would be to inform my manager, the chair of the school board, as well as Ministry of Education. My secretary was responsible for informing the police department, and the teachers were responsible for keeping the students safe and to ensure that they follow the instruction. As a school, our duty is to ensure that students are always safe once the parents send them to us, and we take that very seriously.
During the drill, the intruder did get into a classroom, but members of the GI3 unit were quick to respond and apprehend the intruder. The tactical approach did not require the use of weapons to subdue the intruder, and the law enforcement officers took him into custody.
In our section, we train for many situations. One of what we showed this morning, hostile arrests and stuff like those. We in the department are aware of many situations happening elsewhere, so we try to maintain a step forward in keeping abreast with the trainings. Should the need arises, we go and do assessment as we go along. It all depends on the intruder or on the perpetrator for us to take action. We take minimal action to perpetrate the arrest.
And with that, the intruder drill was a success. The policy has been in place since 2015, and these emergency drills are practiced once a year. While this one was in the case of an intruder, there's also a fire drill, hurricane preparedness, and injury at school. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The 37th Annual Conference and Trade Exhibition concluded in Miami today. Canto, as it is referred to, is a non-profit association made up of operators, companies, and individuals in the information and communications technology sector, with a focus on leveraging regional ICT initiatives for CARICOM. This year's theme was Enabling the Digital Evolution, which spoke to fostering resilient and sustainable development through digital transformation. Attendees shared experiences, knowledge, and partnerships towards building the digital ecosystem, and Belize was lauded for the steps it is taking to get there. Minister of Public Utilities, Energy, Logistics, and E-Governance, Michelle Shabat, led a delegation to the conference and spoke to News 5 about the region wanting to replicate the digital bill that was presented in the last meeting of the House of Representatives.
And I can tell you it's a very proud moment for Belize because we've been able to share with them that we have one of the first digital government bills in the region. We presented that in the House last week, Friday, as you may know. And why is this bill so important? It is important because it really sets the parameters as where we're going to go as a government. It sets standards for all of the ministries so that across ministries, it does not matter who comes to them, but the services will be the same across all ministries. It provides for us for the creation of skills, the capacity building with our public officers. I can tell you we've had an initial cohort of graduates already. And it is exciting because the whole transition, the whole digital transformation will now be led by our public officers. They're going to be the movers and shakers in the public service. And so it's very exciting for us, and we're able to share that with our Caribbean brothers and sisters. And I can tell you, got a lot of attention. Canto actually wants to use our legislation as a model legislation, and they want to do a case study of it for the rest of the Caribbean. So a very important meeting for us and very exciting time for Belize.
Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy, Logistics and E-Governance and the National Telecommunication Operator are committed to creating new opportunities, fostering growth and leveraging the power of ICT for the benefit of the country. Just ahead, KTV covers popular songs from Belizean artists.
KTV. Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to smart code 5885. Here are this week's contestants.
Feel the warmth of the shining sun, feel the cool of the breeze, hear the sound of the rolling waves.
Te quiero a ti, mi amor, aquí entre mis brazos.
If I take your call, light it on fire. Come 1, 2, 3, baby, trust me when I say you ain't seen crazy.
Give me the bass, pump up the place. Give me the drums, bring down the place. Soulful people, soulful town, all year round.
I wanna know who said Creole no got no history. I wanna know who said Creole no got identity. When they 15 to 20.
They love me for my sneakers and my chocolate ice cream. Baila amiga.
People, that's my stand. I'm my country.
You need to clean your heart, stop the act shy. Clean up all the coconut shells and all the old tires.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. And don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, live, only on 5.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
In 2018, before I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was at a size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days. And after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and they have like a circular, and that goes 5 times. You will take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
On Tuesday night, the 10 hopefuls who survived the first round of eliminations on KTV The Remix Season 4 were announced before a packed auditorium. They then took the stage at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts with a Belizean song of their choice. From legends like Lord Rayburn, Andy Palacio, and Leela Vernon, some of the performers took on Tanya Carter and Coconut Boy tracks. If you missed it, here's a recap of the performances.
People in harmony, nowhere else on this earth is found a land so precious and free. Welcome to Belize, land so sweet, paradise waiting for you. Welcome, one and all.
Te quiero aquí, mi amor, aquí entre mis brazos. Te quiero a ti, mi amor, aquí entre mis brazos.
Now you better run, I give you a head start, cause when I catch you, the police can't protect you. Baby, trust me when I say you ain't seen crazy yet. My mama said you were no good, I guess it's all my fault, but let me help you understand.
Give me the bass, pump up the place. Give me the drums, bring down the place. Work up your waist. Mash up the place. Hands in the air. Hands in the air. Hands in the air. Hands in the air. Let me hear you sing. Where everyone knows. So whether you're friend or your neighbor, it's free, don't really matter now.
I wanna know who said Creole no got no history. I wanna know who said Creole no got identity. When the 15 to 20 million Southwest African gang and down in a slavery history. They may bring the Lago, the Congo and the Zulu. They even bring the Igbo, Ashanti and Mandingo.
Baila amiga, baila amiga, dale, 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 yo way, dale, 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 dale. Ella quiero un chocolate, chocolate. Ella quiere chocolate, latte. Ella quiere chocolate, latte, chocolate.
From the river to the open sea, yeah. I love my country, my territory, my beliefs. Sweet beliefs.
Well, the mosquitoes, them a whole a empire. The whole of 2 weeks. This thing I may get me weak. I may got the dengue fever. The whole of 2 weeks. This thing I may get me weak. I may got the dengue fever. To the first 7 days, girl, I may get maga. Symptoms start to show. Some make it in Americana.
Vote to see your favorite return to the stage next week. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5police.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.